Thank you for tuning into yet another episode of Breaking the Silence with Arthur, Nikki, Nicole, where you can unleash your inner voice. So let me give you a little background on Alex and I. We met in a group on Facebook for podcasters. The interview was actually supposed to be scheduled for last week, but we had to reschedule. So the moral of the story is he still showed up. So tonight's guest is Alex Morris. He is a man that wears many titles. He is a podcaster, photographer, videographer, artist, and a credit repair specialist. So he is a man that wears many cangos. He has definitely earned the name the visual GOAT. He is the host of All in All with Alex, where he specializes in mental health issues and creates a vibe for people to talk about anything on his platform. So, after the countdown, please welcome Alex to the stage. Hello, Alex. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being a guest tonight.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Good to be here. Good to be here.
So tell me, what was your inspiration behind All in All with Alex?
So with that, like I kind of felt like, us in the black community, we don't have enough eyes on mental health. And so that was kind of my reason for really starting it, like to really be able to have a safe place where people can just come and talk about things they've dealt with in life, and so on and so forth. Really just open for any topics, but mainly more so focused on the mental health.
Hmm. That's awesome because we as a culture don't talk about those type of issues. We kind of like sweep them under the rug and keep going. So that's awesome that you started a platform where we can like bring more awareness to it.
Right.
Awesome. So what lessons have you learned so far being a podcaster?
That consistency is key. Doing putting out a lot of content. When I first started, I did like one episode, and then I didn't do it for like a year and a half, maybe. So I had a big gap. And with me, with my social media, I have kind of a decent following. Some people say a big following, but I say decent right now because it still ain't big enough to make the amount of change that I want to make as far as in this world. So um, but I'm still focusing on trying to get to where I need to be.
Wow. So with everything that you do, how do you balance it? Because being a podcaster by itself can be challenging. So you're doing videography, you're doing photography, and I think you have a recording studio type thing too going on. You have all this going on. How do you balance it?
Uh, Scheduling. That's the easiest way I can say it. I'm big on if I put it on my schedule, making sure I'm there and I'm on time. Which was kind of crazy that it threw us off for last week, but my with my daughter, her track meets, they kind of threw a last little curveball at us, which they ended up doing it again today. But I just told them, I'm like, man, I can't keep on canceling because I know how it is to be, in a position where you offer your platform to somebody and then they keep canceling on you. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to make sure because at the end of the day, only thing a man got is his word. His word is his bond. So I want to make sure I was here and that we get this thing done.
Awesome. I'm just glad you showed up. Anybody else would have been like, you know what, we just can't do it and would have probably just canceled altogether. But you
Right.
knew. So what is your vision though behind All in Alex? What do you hope to accomplish in the future for it?
Really just I want to be up there with with some of the bigger podcasts, being able to off of one episode have the world talking about it. You know what I mean? So some of the biggest podcasts these days are mainly so focused on like entertainment wise, as far as like for instance, Club Shay Shay, it's kind of more so they doing an interview style, which is kind of like what I'm doing, but he's learning about each person individually or whatever, but it's still at the end of the day entertainment. So people are gonna come on there and they're gonna do things that are gonna make people talk. Um,
Mhm.
so I kind of am towards more that style, but I want to make people talk about what other people has went through and how they can get through something that they went through that are similar to.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. So, with all these other titles that you carry, one of the titles that I'm really interested in, I'm pretty sure everybody else is interested in too, credit repair. So, does it really work?
Yeah, I mean, of course it does. It's all about doing it the right way though. So, people see these little so-called gurus, on different places talking about, oh, you can do this, oh, you can do that. But it's all about how you doing it and about the consistency of that you're doing it at. So, you know, you can get almost anything off your credit removed. It's all about how you go about doing it. Are you staying consistent with it? Are you making sure you attack every month? Things like that. I mean, it's different ways to go about it, but yes, to answer your question, yes, it is. It's real. It's legit. Um, Anything that's on your credit can be removed. So it all just takes time and attacking the credit.
Wow. So, what made you want to become a credit repair specialist?
Um, so really, being a black man in America, we're not privileged to certain things in this world, and I always knew I was destined for more than what I've been doing, and so I was like, you know what? One of the biggest ways to get the things that you want in America is credit. Um, and not only having credit, it's also having credit and leveraging it to make you more money. So hence why I named my credit repair business leverage OBM, because we leveraging other people's money. Because when you go to the bank and you get a loan, that's not your money, that's the bank's money. So that's other people's money. So you want to use that money to invest into something that's going to make you more money. So that way you won't just get that loan and you just pay it back and that's it. You want to get that loan. You want to go and you want to buy a piece of land and buy 3 or 4 trailers, build those, put those trailers on there and rent those out, and now you're getting money back every month. Things like that. So that's like my whole goal with it is to be able to do those things myself, and then also instill that into the younger generation and my fellow people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, because it's about generational wealth. I mean, we have to try to focus on that because a lot of times people in the past didn't focus on that. So now the youth needs to know that hey, there's ways for you to get there, and
Mm-hmm.
people like you, hey, gonna help them get there. So, what
Yep.
do you think is the biggest challenge when repairing someone's credit?
Um, the biggest challenge when repairing someone's credit. There's not really a challenge on my end. But if you want to say what's the hardest thing to remove off someone's credit, I would kind of say it's a tie between, repossession and late payment. Um, those are probably the two hardest things to get removed. It's usually not a challenge for me. It just takes time to be able to do it because you're kind of playing a chess match with the credit bureaus. Like so I'm attacking it this one way, and then I see what they say, and then okay, now I got to go about it a different way, And sometimes it'll work on the first try, sometimes maybe the fifth try. So it's all about being consistent with it and making sure that your client understands, like, hey, this is not going to be an overnight thing. It could take you 6 months to get your credit where you want to be. It could take a little bit longer, but we're going to eventually get there. You just got to be patient and just if it's something that I need, be on time with it so I can get your round sent out on time and we can keep this thing flowing.
Wow, I'm surprised you didn't say charge offs. They say charge offs are really bad to be on your credit and it hurts you a lot. So I'm surprised you didn't say that was challenging.
I mean charge offs they are, but I would say like if you wanna do worse to best, you would say late payments and remos, they're kind of 1 and 2, 1A, 1B, however you want to say it. Charge offs will be right after that. Um and then you would fall in line to with collections. Or actually, I'm sorry. I mean,
Foreclosure.
yeah. Let me take that back. So first would be late payments slash repo, one of those two, and then next in line after those two would be bankruptcy,
Mm.
and then it would be charge offs.
Mm. So
So
charge-offs aren't as bad as people say they are. Then those repossessions and foreclosures are more hard to tackle. Hmm.
yes, they
Interesting.
are.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. But see, you have people out there that are doing credit repair, and they're like, "Oh, we can fix your credit in 2 weeks, and have everything off your credit." Are those legit people to deal with?
More than likely, no, because I mean, you can't put a time frame on it. Like, if you want to get your credit repaired, I can't tell you like, hey, by this date everything's gonna be gone. Like, it doesn't really work like that. Now in the first 2 weeks, you will see changes. Like, you will see things fall off. You will see action happening on your credit report, but you will not. It's not guaranteed that everything's going to be off because, one of my clients, which is actually became a good friend of mine. We sent out his first round and his Equifax report. It took everything off the Equifax. It took one or two things out of TransUnion, one or two things I've experienced. So now we don't have to even fight his Equifax anymore because everything is clean what we needed to be. All the old addresses are gone. All the his birthday is right, his name is right. All that old stuff on there, like phone numbers and jobs and all that stuff is clean. All the accounts that were duplicated on there are removed. Any late payments, charge offs, collections that he had, all those are gone now on the Equifax. And so now every month, as we're fighting the other things, we don't have to fight Equifax anymore. So now we only got to send out to 2 bureaus every month.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, do you think you got people out there that don't believe in credit repair specialists? Do you think that you, as a person, as a consumer, can do it on your own without having a credit repair specialist and do the same things like sending letters out and contact the bureaus? Do you think that's possible?
I mean, yeah, it is. But the problem with that is, one, you need to have all the right information. And two, you need to make sure that you're being consistent with it. Because a lot of people, the reason they don't do it or the reason they stop doing it is because they don't want to deal with the headache. They don't deal. It takes a lot of time. People see credit repair specialists doing this, and they think that it's always just so easy. It's just, oh, I can snap my fingers and it's done. When in reality, that's not the case. There's a lot of time and energy that goes into, okay, finding which laws do what. Okay, finding which documentation, because you got to do a custom letter for each client. You can't use template letters, and that's what a lot of people do is they're using those template letters, and the bureaus are just rejecting them back through their automated system. So you gotta be creative with it, and it takes time, and that's why people charge as much as they do is because it's a lot of time, energy that's taken up into it. Like, one client can take you 4 or 5 hours just to get their paperwork together. You know what I mean? And then after you get it together, then you got to print it all off. Then you got to get it into you got to do it in certified mail. So you got to get the flat rate boxes, put them in there, label everything up, make sure it's got the right bureau name and address and everything on that. Then you got to take it to the post office the next day or that same day, depending on when you do it, and then get it all mailed out and then pay that fee, which is like $50 every time you go send the documentation out.
Woo. Well, there's a lot more to it than I thought. So now that makes sense why they charge so much because there's
Yeah.
a to it. You have to constantly be spending out money to correct their credit.
Mm-hmm.
See a
And
lot,
and
huh?
Yep, that and it's it's just really me. I'm big on time, so you know, um, I have 3 girls, so you know what I mean. Like, any time that I'm away from them is important to me because that time I could have been with them. So I'm big on, okay, all right. When I get ready to start on it, I need all the information. So please give me all the information. Let's get it going. Then I get it going. I work on it. I get it. I work until I'm complete. Once I'm complete, then I shut everything down and I just focus on family. So.
Wow, that's awesome though because credit people don't think credit is important, but credit is very important. You can't get anything in this world without having some type of credit. You still can have money, but that
Mm-hmm.
credit's still gonna matter. It really
Oh, yeah.
does.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
so I'm gonna move on next to tell me a little bit about Young Goat Enterprise.
So Young Go Enterprise. So so that's my label name. It's Young Go Enterprise. So I started my label back in, I want to say, 2021. Um, it was a thought. Like I had some people around me that were pretty close to me, and we all done music. So I was like, you know what, I want to start a label. You know what I'm saying? And I had kind of was already going with the goat thing because I had the visual goat. That was the first time I kind of incorporated the goat. So with me being a videographer, the visual goat, I was like, I was like, what can I do that's gonna have my label kind of based around that? So I was like, you know what? I was like, we some young goats. So I was like, thinking, I was like, okay, young goats. I was like, what can I go with it? And I was like, I don't want to do entertainment because when you in the world of credit repair, you have to think like, okay, if you have the word entertainment in your title, they not going to approve you for some of these things financially. So you don't want to put that in your title. So I was like, what else can start with an E? I said enterprise. Because that covers a lot of things. It's not just they're not gonna just automatically think, oh, it's music related or it's entertainment related if they see enterprise. So I was like, you know what, Young Go Enterprise. And I was like, oh, that sounds good. YGE. So I kind of went with that. And it entails a lot, with us having a recording studio. My business partner, he makes the beats and he records as well. Then I do the videos, and things like that. I do the uploading the music for the artists, things like that. So we pretty much got it all when it comes to the label.
Awesome. So someone has a question for you.
Okay.
Is credit repair better than bankruptcy?
Is credit repair better than bankruptcy? Um, well, it depends on your goal. Okay. So credit repair is good. Okay, I'm put it like this. Bankruptcy is good if you have a lot of debt that you just want gone. You tired of paying it. You want everything gone. Okay. You can do the bankruptcy, and ideally you would want to combine them together, right? So you get the bankruptcy, you clear all your debt off, you make that one payment or whatever the case may be to get the bankruptcy on that. Then you come back to the credit repair and get the bankruptcy removed off your credit. So now you have a clean slate. So now you can build it the right way. But I would say in that question, that's a difficult question because it all depends on what the person's ideal goal is, right? So if I come to you and I say, man, I got all these credit cards and I just, I don't even need them no more. I'm just tired of paying them. I can't afford to keep paying them. Like I'm making good money. I can do everything else I need to do, but it's just all this debt. I can't keep up with it. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this. I can't do that. So if that's the case, then you're gonna want to go with a bankruptcy because that's gonna clear all your debt. The one thing I tell people about credit repair is credit repair, you can get things removed off your credit, but that doesn't mean you don't owe the people the money anymore. So people got to realize that. So, like for example, like people have student loans on their credit, and they want them off of their credit because they might be hurting it or whatever. Okay, we can get them removed, but you're still gonna owe those payments to that company. So it doesn't make you not liable for the debt anymore. It just makes it to where the debt doesn't report on your credit. So now you can have that temporary boost that you need to go get whatever you want to get.
I'm glad you said that because, my thing is people say that once they get their credit repaired, then what happens, they remove that stuff, but then later on, 5 years down the road, it comes back on their credit. So why do you think that happens? Yes, they still owe that money, but what happens at that point when it shows back up?
So basically, like a lot of these companies, including the credit bureaus, they get money for reporting stuff to your credit, right? So, if you have negative things on there, no matter what's reporting on there, they're getting money for, right? So they wanna make their money just like everybody else want to make theirs. So a lot of reason that some of the things pop back up is because, for example, like the student loans, what we were talking about. Um, Student loans, they do a cycle where they'll eventually, like every couple months or maybe every year or whatever, they'll kind of like check back in with maybe the bureaus and things like that. So yeah, you might have got it removed, but then they're gonna continue to report as you pay or as you don't pay or whatever. So eventually, yes, it can pop back up on there. But what I try to tell people is before you get your credit repaired, have a plan of what you want to do. So like if you say, hey, look, if you come to me and you say, hey, my credit score is this, or I'm eventually I'm gonna have to pull your profile. So I pull your profile, have certain things on there, and you say, hey, here's my goal. I say, okay, well, all right, what's the time frame on your goal? Okay, boom, you tell me the time frame. Okay, now we got the time frame established. Okay, let's just say you say, hey, I want to have a house by Christmas. I want to have my own house. Okay, cool. we got a goal, we got a timeline of what you're looking for. Okay, now we pull your report, we pull your profiles, we say, okay, look, this is what you got on here. Estimation, I'll give you an estimation of how long I think it would take, as far as fastest to least fastest. And then, we set a plan around that. Say, hey, look, this right here with this particular bank, I know how this bank works because, I've had previous clients that had trouble with getting this bank removed. You know what I mean? So I can kind of go off of past experiences and things like that to be able to give you like a better timeline and so on and so forth.
So basically, whatever you need to do in that process of repairing your credit, if you want to buy a house or a car, you need to go ahead and do it once it repairs, because it is a possibility that's going to show back up, right?
Depending on what it is, yes. Because like, for example, I had a client where they had some collections on their account. And so I sent in the rounds or whatever. So they ended up deleting the collections, and they sent him a letter in the mail, and they said, we apologize for, putting these items on your credit. You're no longer liable for this debt. So they even took it that far away. They said, hey, you don't even have to worry about paying us anymore. And we removed it from your credit. So in some cases, you will get that to where you're no longer liable for it. So as long as you have that documentation and they try to put it back on there, boom, you send that to the bureaus, and the bureau is going to make sure it's blocked where they can't put it back on.
Wow. Okay. So why do they call you the visual goat?
So it just, like I said, when I started doing pictures and videos, that was just the name I came up. So originally, I'll tell you something that I ain't told nobody. Okay, so originally when I started doing the pictures and the videos, I was like, man, I need to come up with me a name. And so I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't want to do like everybody else and say Alex Morris Photography. Like, I don't know. I just didn't want to do that. So I was like, okay, what do I want to go with? I was like, I started looking around in there. I started brainstorming names. And the first name was like the Visual Plug. And I was like, okay, let me look it up. Somebody already had the Visual Plug. So I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's kind of good I didn't do that anyway, because I don't want people to automatically assume that, I'm affiliated with any kind of drugs or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the first time people think it's something like that. So I was like, okay, don't worry about it. And I started thinking, I was like, the Visual Goat. It just hit me like, because we always have the GOAT debate as far as LeBron and MJ and stuff like that. So I was like, the Visual GOAT. I was like, I can just how they do the sports GOAT. I can do the same thing with the videographer. So I like the Visual GOAT. And then so I started searching the internet, making sure nobody had it. Nobody had it. I was like, I can't believe I had a name that nobody had. Wow. And so I just went with it, and it kind of stuck. So like, all my business partners and my brothers and stuff that I hang with on a daily, they don't even call me by my name. They just call me GOAT. You know what I'm saying? They don't even say Visual Goat. They just say GOAT. Like some people do say, I got a couple people that I know, they'll call me Visual Goat, but most everybody that I hang around close with, they just call me GOAT. They don't say Al, they don't say Alex, they just say GOAT.
Wow. Okay. So the as we wrap up our conversation, the most important question I have for you is, how can people contact you for your services or to be a guest on your podcast?
So they can contact me by, messaging me on any social media platform, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, or whatever the case may be, or my personal Facebook or whatever. And I can send them a link to put it on my calendar using Calendly, of course, one of the best tools out there. So I do it that way to get them on there. As far as if they want to book a consultation, as far as the creator or anything like that, just basically anyway, just DM me. What I'm trying to do is get all the links that I need in like the bios of my certain platforms. So for instance, my credit repair page on Facebook is Leverage OPM. So somewhere in the bio, I want to have the link so they can click the link to be able to get any service they want to get. So if they want to book a consultation, if they want my free ebook that I have, they can go on there. Or if they want one or two free credit inquiry removal letters, I'm offering a couple free of those. No strings attached, no money due. Also, as far as the videos, like as far as videography, if they need videos or pictures, anything like that, mainly just on my website for that, thevisualgoat.com. So, I mean, all this stuff is pretty much searchable. Like if you just go to Google and you search The Visual Goat, or you search Young Goat Enterprise, or you search Leverage OPM, everything is pretty high ranking as far as my SEO. So everything will pretty much be there. But I'm trying to get everything more centralized. I'm trying to get one link that'll account for everything. So like I send you that one link, and it'll be a section for the podcast. It'll be a section for the videography, a section for the credit repair, a section for the recording studio, and so on and so forth. That way, I don't have to send out so many different links. People can just go get what they want to get, or inquire what they want to inquire about.
Right. So I have one more question, because I know somebody's going to want to know this question. How much do you charge for your services for credit repair?
So right now, I've been kind of experimenting with my prices because of the fact that, I never want to break people's pockets. I never want to, because I know how it is out here in the world, and a lot of people out here are just really money hungry. Me, I'm not money hungry. I just feel like I just want what's worth my time, because ideally, time away from my kids should be getting paid $1 million a minute. That's just how I feel, ideally. But that's not realistic to be able to charge somebody that. So what I'm doing right now is I have 3 packages, and it's basically based on the client. So you can do $500 down and $75 a month, because each round that you have to send out a round monthly. And like I told you before, it takes $50 just to send out that one round every month. So that's really, if you do that and you do $75 a month, I'm really not making anything off of that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Most of that is going to the mailing fee. Okay.
So what about couples though? Is that for a single rate, or married couples? Do you have rates like that?
Yes, I do. So the couple rate is $500 up front to combine now for both of them. $500 up front and then $125 a month. So that'll cover both. Both spouses. So, okay. And then then the second package that I have for individual is you can do $250 up front and $150 a month. No, $250 up front and $125 a month. I'm sorry. And then the last package I have is you can do $150 up front and $150 a month. So I try to break it down for people that. Because some people can pay that $150 monthly, but they can't pay the $500 up front at one time. And then, some people can pay the $500 up front one time, but they can't pay no high monthly payment. Because some people get fast money and some, things like that. So I just try to make it beneficial for everybody at the same time, but while still somewhat making it beneficial for me. I really should be charging more, but right now I'm just trying to give back to people and try to help put people in a good position. So.
Can you cancel at any time, or do you have to keep going as long as you're working on it? Like if you say, well, it's going to take 6 months, you give them a timeline and say it's going to take 6 months to completely repair your credit. If they bow down at say 3 months into it, do they have an obligation to be with you for those 6 months?
No. So they can opt out at any time. The only thing I tell people is, ideally you want to be consistent. You want to keep going all the way through, because like I said, it's not an overnight thing. So you have to consistently fight the credit bureaus. Once you stop, then you got to start all that back over again. So if we're doing it for 3 months consistently, and then you stop, and then we don't pick it back up until another 6 months from now we got to go through all that again. And it's going to probably still take another 6 months, when we could have continued for about 3 more months and probably had it done. So I give people the option to, if they pay that first month and, I do everything I need to do, and then they don't want to pay it no more, then that's up to them. I'm not going to force it on anybody. I can't make them pay anything or whatever. I just give them the price, and then, we go from there. But they're not liable for anything. So if they don't pay that second month, then, just want no work get done for that second month. Basically.
Right. Okay. There y'all have it. Now, credit is a big factor to get anything. So y'all got to support my guy. Y'all got to support him, whether it's to be a guest on the podcast, whether it's to hit him up for some studio time or some beats, or whether it's for credit repair. Hey, you got 3 kids. We gotta support him. We gotta support him. So right. Thank you so much, Alex, for being a guest on Breaking the Silence. I really do appreciate you for rescheduling and showing up. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
And thank you so much for everyone else that's tuning in tonight for yet another episode of Breaking the Silence. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Breaking the Silence podcast channel on YouTube. Tune in on Saturdays at 8 p.m. for open mics to hear some amazing talent. Tune in on Sundays for intense debates. This week's debate is the battle of the signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So remember to reach for the stars even when you cannot see them. It is your time to shine. So next we have on the stage an amazing poet that goes by the name of Eloquent Perfection on Saturday at 5 p.m. So make sure y'all tune in for the next episode of Breaking the Silence. Alex, I wish you nothing but success. Thank you so much for being a guest.
No problem. Thank you, and I appreciate everything.
Awesome.
Wasted too much time. Now I'm here and crying. And I don't think he's coming back. Been around the world and
Hey, yo, Sway, you desperate for greatness, bro.